the connections that you make with people and the conversations that you have with people means way more to me than accolades. Or like, I don't think my work rate is a fraction of my parents' work rate, and I don't think anything that I had to endure is a fraction of what the generation before me of Somalis endured, right? And I think working in poetry and consultancy and grassroots, you see the impact your words might have. I did a workshop in prison, absolutely loved it. He came out of prison unbeknownst to me. I rock up to a poetry night, there he is, pursuing creativity and being literally the best performer. So to be able to show people that poetry is cool, poetry is accessible, poetry is both Shakespeare and John Keats, but poetry is also them. Just tiny droplets create those currents of change. Beware of the insiders doing the outsiders' job.
Hello and welcome to Kurly Meets, and today I have the distinct honour of welcoming Ayan Aden, the current Birmingham Poet Laureate, and an incredible poet at that as well.
I appreciate that very much. The honour's mine, man. It's a privilege to be here with Kurly today.
Praises due. And so Ayan, the first question I always ask guests is, does your name have a meaning?
Oh, it does. Ayan means luck. And I feel very lucky, honestly, every day. Generally do.
Wow. So do you feel like you walk with an air of gratitude as you
definitely,
walk
man.
through the world?
I think a lot of every day it's a blessing, especially doing something you're passionate about full time and getting to inspire and try to create a change. And it's like, I'm blessed and I'm humbled. So thank you.
So truly living up to your name.
I try to.
Wow. But at the same time, though, you know, sometimes you do make your own luck, and I noticed just how busy and determined and purposeful you are with your time. So you do put in a lot of hard work, and I think you do make your own at that as well.
Thank you very much. Funny, because yesterday I was somewhere and I was having a conversation where it's like success and it's on the other side of fear. And every day I try to remind myself, hey, if it works, it works. If it don't work, it don't work. But so long as I put that work in, and then always say alhamdulillah, and always, trust in Allah's plan, it should go.
And as long as you learn, you never lose.
Exactly. That sounds like a poetry bar.
Wow. There's a guy that I listen to, and he's like a motivational guy, very much into businesses. He's been around for a long time as well. He's in his 80s.
Okay.
So to be financially successful and live a long time, he's done that. So it's worth listening to. And he was on about this thing about fear. Click down to the 4 words, an acronym, FEAR, false evidence appearing real.
Ooh, it's true, because it's all in here.
That's right.
Tom Ford said, was it Henry Ford? Sorry, the guy who, Ford, you guys know what I'm talking about. He said, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. It's all in here. So false evidence appearing real is the sentiment that it's all in your head.
Yeah. And I feel like in your short time, how old are you? Wow, mid-20s?
Yeah, I'm 25. Turn 26 next week.
Wow,
yeah,
okay.
I feel like time is flying. I was 22 the other day. What's going on? How did I get here?
But Ayan, if you was to link up all the different things, if you was to run up your CV right now, all the dignitaries, the incredible levels of society that you've been operating in, the different dignitaries, countries, honestly, the different you've been pretty epic and profound, busy.
Thank you. I think what drives me the most, Kurly, is I always tell myself, time is limited. You don't know when it's your time to go. And I think very young, I understood that, and I had this desire and this burning passion to be like, I'm going to use my time to do ABC. And it's the wonderful people that I meet along the way, like yourself, who constantly motivate me to stay true to it. Because it's not an easy journey sometimes. Sometimes you're thinking, you know what, let the world change itself, like just go chill and do something. But I think because of that, it constantly drives me and remotivates me to continue to put in time. So it's a blessing, and yeah.
Wow, that's incredible.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, 86,400 seconds in a day. You gotta at least allocate a few of those for your journey, right?
Absolutely.
But so highlights, and so far it's been you've almost a year now in the laureateship seat.
Yeah, they got me working.
You certainly have. You really have. So like, any highlights that you might want to highlight so far of your journey?
Well, I think it's so hard for me, because I'm like, I think of one moment, then I think of another, then I think of another, then I think of another. But it's people. It's seeing your change. I think a lot of times most people go their whole lives without seeing the actual changes that they create, or whatever they don't see their impact. And I think working in poetry and consultancy and grassroots, you see the impact your words might have, or the effects that you have on people. And like, for example, that young man that came out of prison, I did a workshop in prison, absolutely loved it. He came out of prison, unbeknownst to me. I rock up to a poetry night. There he is, pursuing creativity and being literally the best performer of the evening. Not because of my bias, because I'm like, yeah, but genuinely the craft, the technicality. I think Birmingham Weekender as well, I spoke to over 2,000 people in 3 days to create a single poem. And it's like, the connections that you make with people and the conversations that you have with people means way more to me than accolades or metrics or certain things can, because I always say, you know, tiny droplets create those currents of change that we've made. And it's like that one person that might think different.
Tiny droplets create currents of change
that we need made. And it's like that one person that you might have impacted slightly will go on to impact 3 people or 4 people, hopefully. So it's a blessing, man. Honestly, I wake up every day, I'm like, alhamdulillah, like this is amazing that I get to do this.
No, it's interesting. I mean, I think you're right, and I think in the age of AI now as well, where, you know, content is going to become, you know, much more, you know, coming out at a magnitude never experienced before. And I think human connection now is going to be worth a lot more. Genuine human contact, you know, and creating those impacts that last beyond your time. I think of, you know, grandparents and their love for me, what I want to do for my grandchildren and beyond, you know what I mean? So it's like that ripple of energy that goes out beyond your time frame, you know, to continue as a legacy.
In that poem, in the Hippodrome, I actually said, like one of the responses on the wall was something that AI said, and I said, AI can never replace our humanness, because it will never be able to know the feeling of just wanting to go home or feel the ray of sun on your face or something. I can't remember the poem, but for me, it's like, you're right. With the innovation of technology and the fast pace in which the world is adapting and changing, what will continuously be a rare commodity is human authenticity. Scroll on your timeline, you're looking, the ones that get you is the storytelling that pulls you in through genuineness or relatability and stuff like that. So I always tell artists, like, relax, your jobs are not going to be taken. Like, your jobs, if anything, are going to be the ones sought after to humanize these features and these things. So yeah, stay true, stay human.
Yes.
Stay authentic.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we're all experts in. That
absolutely,
you know, and being human. So that's some of the high points. On the opposite end of that scale, then, what have been some of the more challenging elements, would you say?
It's interesting. I think it's a blessing at the same time. I always try, like, obviously, I'm Muslim, and gratitude is an important part of your faith. And I always tell myself, you know, some of the things that I hate complaining. I hate like normalizing the concept of complaining, because some of these things that I might be complaining about, like, for example, being tired, I think there's so much to do and not enough time. And that's one of my biggest downs. It's like, these are blessings that you once prayed for. These are things that you once said, oh, I hope I can do this, and now you're doing it, you're tired, and you're complaining about being tired, but you were praying for this a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago.
For sure.
So I think a lot of the down doubles up as a positive, and it's always staying grounded in gratitude that, you know what, alhamdulillah, like, regardless, something doesn't work out, on to the next one. We don't have time to dwell. Alhamdulillah, that project might not be doing the best, or even in the journey, I realized, Kurly, there's so many points where you're like, I need to re-strategize. And I think adaptability and not being stubborn on your initial concept sometimes, to a certain extent, is important. So it's like, for example, let's say if I'm doing a project and I'm jumping through hoops and hoops and hoops and hoops, I sit down and think, okay, cool. How do I do this in a separate way that might not be in line with the vision I initially had in mind to make sure it's the same success? So long story short, when it comes to the down parts are maybe things like lack of time, constantly. My little cousin and my little brother have been going on events with me, and they maybe come with me for one event, and the rest of the day I'm in meetings or something. And they're like to me, you need an insanely high social battery. You do. That's
filter.
And I think
sometimes, coming back to our earlier point about the value of human connectivity, sometimes that it can be great, but then it
Yeah.
can be the opposite.
Facts.
You know, and having that filter is really important.
100%.
So I think it's interesting that your family,
Noticed
young ones
that.
as well, picked up on that for your best interest.
It's true. Like, and the thing is, alhamdulillah, like I know how to manage it in a sense. But I think just being authentic, like sometimes I'll show up to me and I'll be like, hey, like for example, earlier this morning I said I'm finished today. You know what I'm saying? But it's just being authentic. You're human, so it's like all of the negatives double up as positives. So I'm just grateful.
Well done. Well, coming back, you know, to what you was on about being able to re-strategize. You know, they talk about, you know, survival isn't about the strongest. It's about who can adapt to the current circumstances in order to move on and thrive. So what pushes you through, do you think? What really gets you through those difficult moments? What do you come back to when you do hit your wall? I mean, insane amounts of gratitude, it seems, is part of that.
100%.
Is there anything else you draw upon or inspire, people who inspire you in particular?
I think your anchor should always be your why.
Your why.
Beyond everything that you're doing, you need to ask yourself, why are you doing this? I think it's so easy to get lost in the sauce and just do stuff for the sake of doing it.
Sure.
But a lot of times when people like either just completely withdraw from like something, or a lot of the times it's because they've lost their why in the process. They got swept by the current, by the tide. I think in everything that I do, if it's getting a bit too much, I have to sit down and ask myself, what is my why? Create change, to make my parents proud, to represent the boxes that I represent properly and accordingly, and just reaffirming that belief. And sometimes it's hard because, like, growing up in inner city Birmingham, no one knew what poetry was. You think the squad knew what poetry was? People look at it weird, but that's a vision that only I had, right? Something that only I could see. And it's like, but why do I have this vision? Is it for little Ayans growing up in inner city Birmingham that they can rhyme their way through life and create steady income and be able to live in their purpose? Or is my why to get accolades and to get tick boxes and to, you know, so constantly reminding yourself your why. And I think my mom is a great inspiration of mine. And one thing that I always do is like, I don't think my work rate is a fraction of my parents' work rate, and I don't think anything that I had to endure is a fraction of what the generation before me of Somalis endured, right? So it's like, I look at my mom and I'm just like, if she can do it, if she can raise practically 10 kids at the age of 23 in a foreign country in a language she doesn't understand, after having her whole livelihood and her degrees and stuff taken away, and running through terrains with kids to get into some sort of safety, I can attend that board meeting and say what I need to say. Do you know what I'm saying?
It puts things in real perspective.
It does.
I hear that. No right to complain. No, I hear that. Wow. Your mum sounds like an incredibly formidable person.
Yeah.
Wow.
Shout out,
Must be very proud of you as well.
Alhamdulillah, man. Alhamdulillah. She does say to me, you're working too much.
Okay.
And I was like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying? This comes from an hunger you instilled in me. So, shout out, mum.
So, obviously, during the course of your journey then, there would have been people like your mother with words of wisdom to impart on you.
Yeah.
Is there anything that comes to mind at the moment in the words of wisdom that have been passed on to you, that we can pass on to our viewers?
Too many, but one sticks out to me at the moment, and this is the rawest I am on interviews and PRs, right? At the moment, I'm building entities, I'm building structures, I'm building things for people to carry with them to instill good beyond my presence. And in doing so, and I think this goes to young entrepreneurs, I am an entrepreneur outside of poetry, and creativity is my non-capitalistic side, but sure. I am an entrepreneur outside of it. And somebody said something very interesting to me recently, right, in building these structures, and they said to me, beware of the insiders doing the outsiders' job. So it's like, when you're creating a team around you to carry a vision forward, or to carry things that you can, like, to carry this thing and to make it something for the benefit of the holistic or the larger crew. He was like to me, Ayan, beware of people who are inside, and it might be unintentional, but they're doing the job of someone who's from the outside, who probably doesn't want to see the success of that thing, albeit for whatever reasons. Humans are humans. And I was like, you know what? I don't know why, it just really hit me in the sense of, like, you need like-minded people around you all the time who have the same interest and the same desire to create that sense of good in the same way that you have to make anything work. And then I grew up on like, I am standing on the shoulders of so many people that I can name. Former Poet Laureates, Casey, Jasmine. You've got my peers like Zachariah and Bradley Taylor, and all these amazing people. And then you've got people who are maybe a year after me or stuff, but who are doing amazing work, like Big Ray, Bilal, who are doing such amazing, but they inspire me. Yes. You know what I'm saying? We are all a collective of constantly inspiring each other. And then you have legends like Zephaniah, RIP. One person who really like motivates me is the Sayyid Muhammad Abdullah Hassan, who is referred to as the British as Mad Mullah, may he rest in peace, down Haristo. He led the longest anti-colonial movement against the British. They had to commission the first airstrikes because they couldn't defeat him on land or sea. And in his anti-colonial movement and resistance, he was a poet. And his fire and tenacity is something else that inspires me too.
Wow, incredible part of that legacy of looking truth to power. I think being able to write things down can certainly help you on your pathway to navigate forward, because it's basically you are articulating your thoughts, your thinking, you're structuring your sentences, which in turn lead to actions. That gentleman that you said that you met delivering a workshop in prison where you facilitated, him being able to think and then write things down for his future, and then there, behold, when he gets his freedom, he's doing something worthwhile with it, and giving him purpose. What you mentioned, how that is important, what his why was. But if it's hard to be there for others unless you're there for yourself first. So, Ayan, in terms of working with you and seeing you in action, and there's been so many people that we've come across over the years as well. Out of about 30 or 40 different potential candidates, you have been awarded, the position of being the artistic program director for the Girls Grammar Slam. So very, very well done. So in terms of the Girls Grammar Slam, what would be some of the things that you'd like to hope to achieve, during the course of this innovative project that already people are calling out for?
That's crazy. I think we've done work together for a long time, and it's always been a pleasure because the work that you do is close to the mission and soul of what I'm trying to do. I think we have the same vision, which is to improve literacy, access into arts and poetry for young people, and to change lives at the heart of it. So with the Girls Grammar Slam, it was a privilege and an honor, and I'm excited to be on board. I think essentially with the Girls Grammar, we do a lot of work in schools together anyways, but I think this is special because it's something special for young girls, and I was a young girl once. So to be able to show people that poetry is cool, poetry is accessible, poetry is both Shakespeare and John Keats, but poetry is also them. So I look forward to onboarding as many schools as possible, expanding it so every girl gets the opportunity, and just doing great stuff at the heart, at the grassroots, in the heart of community.
Amazing. So at the moment, is there any current projects that you're working on that we need to know about?
Too many.
Too many.
Birmingham Poetry Network, we are building an entity that centralizes the infrastructure of poetry in Birmingham and making sure that it's part of the city's cultural fabric rather than an afterthought. So tap in with that. Memorhyme UK, we held the largest Independence Day celebration in Europe, and you were there. Yeah, we fed him Somali food, man. Somali cultural dances, everything. It was we brought out 800 people in 3 weeks. People told me I was crazy, Kurly, when I said I was going to do it. Wow. Zero funding, zero support, zero help. 800 people in 3 weeks, 3.8 million. 5 cultural dances I personally choreographed, a play I personally wrote, 4 poets, Somali food, English food, artifacts from Somalia from 600 years ago. It was amazing. Yes. Stakeholders, everything. So off the back of that, we've launched Memorhyme UK, and what we are doing with Memorhyme UK is we've launched a British Somali Poetry Collective. Sorry, there's so many acronyms. But yeah, we have just under 100 British poets, British Somali poets across the country. We're
Wow.
doing a lot of developmental work with them. We run cultural dance Sundays, which is dance classes and stuff. But more importantly, we are programming for a Somali Nima Week in June next year as an extension of the Independence Day celebration. And it's just a way for us to say, look, Somalis have been here, we'll be here. We are part of also, again, the cultural fabric of the city and this country. And yeah, to make it accessible. So keep your eyes and ears peeled out for that and join us. But yeah, lots of different things. Excited.
Amazing. And we'll obviously get your tags and Instagrams and labels and all those.
Thank you, man. You're doing amazing stuff with this Kurly Meets. And it's been a privilege to be here today, man, Kurly. You're a phenomenal person. And yeah, it's an honor of mine.
Honestly, the honors all ours are. And yes, thank you so much for being part of Kurly Meets.
Thank you.
So we'll meet again.
Hey, cold. That's how you know you're a poet. Thank you, brother.
Thank you very much, Praise.